In this world, our protagonist were doing his best to protect the humanity from disaster. He was using his mighty strength to fight against these monsters. This is K, and he is adapted from rank S. But even though he's S rank, he can't believe the scale of the monster in front of him as he received different information. So he confronted his so-called master from his collar if he just lied to him when he told there's only 33 monster in total at this area. His master replied, "Since I'm not on the front lines, it's natural for there to be some margin of error in the intel." K didn't realize he was spacing out for a long time. When he turned around, the high-treat monster was already in front of him. Because of that, he died as the dog of the organization, no freedom, no free will. So he hoped one day he could try live freely. All of a sudden, he was surprised when he woke up as a baby. Someone came in. He thought this person is from the organization. But it turns out that it's just her mother in this new life. This surprised him even more. So he wondered what is happening. Then the television also turns on and voices can be heard from the outside that seems no more monsters unlike in his previous life where they live in an apocalyptic era and ghost town. Realization hits him that he was reincarnate in another timeline where the great cataclysm didn't happen, which means there's no organization in this place. He was like a jackpot winner after escaping his disastrous life, so he thanked God for not abandoning him. When he looked at the calendar, his face turns pale, realizing this is the day before the great cataclysm happened. This made him disappointed, but he was confident to surpass this since he is the great Lord K. Unfortunately, he's still in the stage of learning how to stand. Also, he wasn't able to speak yet. That means he can't do anything like this, and time is gold for K. So he wondered if he have no choice but to rely on this woman who seems to be his mother. K was thinking of using his mother for some way. He think he could use her agile, but the problem is she's lame. So he thinks skillful hands would do, but it seems she doesn't as you can see her bowl. Even her cooking is bad, so K were dumbfounded. Looking at his mother, he think this is the end of him. Later on, someone knocked on the door, telling her package has come. But his mother stopped as she realized something. Also K noticed this new word that he have never heard before. He then realized if that's a delivery person, he's in contact with lots of people and he might get infected. K was right that the delivery person had been infected. K immediately look around that he can use, but the only thing nearby him is his pillow and bottle. He wasted no time and used the pillow to the ground. As the infected person tried to attack him, he threw himself towards the pillow to avoid concussion. He knew if he touched its attack even a little, he would surely die. In his past life, he gathered knowledges about monsters through real combat. Since he had this knowledge and experience, he can fully understand that can't able to defeat a single monster with flesh and blood. Upon his observation, this monster seems a power-type monster. Knowing its threat from brute strength, and its tentacles from its head seems to be troublesome for him. He used his bottle to trip the infected person. Because he knew this type of monster isn't good with tight turns, and he used that to throw him off. All of a sudden, a tail from his back suddenly appeared, taking the core of the infected person. Not only that, it eats the core. When he checked it, he recognized this ability from his past life. He called this tail of Tout Eye. But he's confused as he had no idea his skill from before his reincarnation exists in his current self, and not only that, he's supposed to be born 3 years after the great cataclysm that will happen in 4 years. Even though he don't understand anything anymore, he decided to ignore it since this is a stroke of luck for him. By using the tail of Tout Eye, he can absorb a monster's core and turn it into his own ability. Therefore, he wants to try his newfound skill. Without an ease, he was able to cut his crib. K was glad he awakened in younger age because he could adapt greater ability, unlike in his past life, where he awakened at age 7 and became S rank. But he was sure at this time he would be legendary SSS rank. So he thought this is the right time for his comeback. He tried to crawl back to his mom, but his hands suddenly can't move. At the same time, the crib has been slowly falling. His mother immediately goes for him to help him out, but it seems she was too late. The flashback from his past where his so-called master from the organization mocked him for keeping alive even though he's only eating dog food. K faced harsh cruelty in order to survive by following and only doing what the organization wants and treated him like a dog. K woke up with sweat in his face, cursing the organization for making him their dog. When he checked his mother, he realized she saved him. Wondering how he passed out, he assumed his power is too strong for his body to handle and based on his observation, he only have 30 seconds to manifest his power. Suddenly, he heard his mother crying. He saw his mother's diary that has too many sticky notes, and she currently wrote Mom's diary. "I almost hurt my treasure, I'm sorry," so Kay knew she was writing about him. Kay saw the bruise from her shoulder, knowing she just protected him. Buff in his past life, his mother is an irresponsible person. She even dared to sell him to the organization. Since she wasn't that kind of person, he tried to comfort her for a while. Kay can't afford to waste much time because he knew this world will surely change drastically in less than a week. He must thinking a plan for the future to avoid any problem. Out of nowhere, his mother prepared him a surprise gift. As reveal what's inside, it was a dog gave by their neighbor. Kay was speechless as he knew this dog from his past life. This is the fierce dog Reckon. He didn't expect to meet him in this life too. At his age, this dog is way too big to be his playmate. But for now, this is no problem for him. He wants to train Reckon to become a force to counter threats, and could also serve as a means of transportation. While Kay was daydreaming for his plans, his mother thought he was happy for her gift since he was smiling. For his first step, he wants to feed it. By feeding Reckon, he was expecting him to acknowledge as his master. Kay assumes his dumbness by only looking his innocent face. When Reckon took the bite, he stepped on its head to show his dominance. This made Reckon furious, stomping him over and over. Kay was furious, and he jumps over Reckon. His mother had no idea that they actually fighting, but she thought they are just playing. While she was baking, she realized there's no flour anymore. All of a sudden, a slime monster tried to attack her. His mother busy looking for a flower. Reckon immediately charges to protect her. By pushing her inside the cabinet, the slime missed. Her mother is confused what's going on. Kay knew this kind of monster is weak in power, but its liquid body is immune to slashes and stabs. While his mother was scratching her head after bumping, Reckon had been swallowed by the slime. Kay was looking for a way to make it dry since this was its weakness. Luckily, he saw his milk powder from his bottle, so he wasted no time and throwed it towards the slime. Because of that, the slide leaves Reckon's body, and it starts to act weird. The slime had gone crazy after losing its moisture. Kay took this opportunity while it's off guard. He catch him using the bin. As his mother coming out from the cabinet, she grabs the bowl of flour. The flour had been scattered all over the kitchen because of her clumsiness. She thought she is just unlucky and decided to take a wash. But for Kay, he think he was lucky to catch the slime monster because this can become insect repellent, and if he apply it to a winder, it can make shatterproof protective layer. But just a sudden, the slime used its force to escape. When it tried to attack Kay, Reckon jump into action to protect him. Reckon and the slime face off. When the slime noticed Kay charges at him, it evaded Kay from capturing him. Before escaping, he gave them a middle finger. This frustrated both of them. Because of that, Kay decided to chase it like a chivalry warrior. Using Reckon's speed, he chase him. He can't let this slime to escape since this is one of the crucial part of his plans. After seeing it, he looked for a sand or mud to throw on it. Unfortunately for the girl, she was caught off guard. Kay can't afford using his power as his body won't hold out. If this slime parasitizes her, this place will turn into of blood. But Kay was confident that this kind of scene was so easy in his past life. Kay came in time, blocking her from the slime using the umbrella. The slime tried to escape again. Kay wasted no time, and he used his power to end it in an instant. Because of that, Kay shattered the slime into pieces. He wondered if this girl see what happened, but she just run away from the situation. However, Kay's problem is cleaning the mess of the slime. Kay got startled as his tail absorbed all the slime around it. Not only that, it also absorbs two abilities unlike in his previous life when he absorbed a different ability. The old one will be replaced. So Kay were so amazed that he could do this. In his past life, he avoided switching abilities as much as possible so the organization wouldn't find out. But this is also the reason why he died, but the important thing now is how the tale of Tautai evolve. Realization hits him when he realized that the younger his adaptation age, the stronger the power becomes. That means he became adapted at 10 years old, but all candidates younger than that died because most children can't overcome the toxins from monsters. But in his current life and even younger adapted, his growth potential is immeasurable. Later on, Kay used his new skill to repel any upcoming monster. Afterwards, his body can't hold any longer after using too much of his power. Reckon gave him a furious look. Reckon grabs him, taking back to their apartment. Later on, his mother has done taking a shower, and she was surprised of what she just seeing right now. Kay and Reckon peacefully taking a nap after chasing a monster. As time passed by, Kay applied the slime through the window and the air vent to make them safe even cataclysm happens. He also understands his tail current state, where he can store up to 4 abilities. Right now, he can use 2 ability that can only last for a maximum of 30 seconds. Therefore, he's planning on taking supplies to prepare for the great cataclysm. People would rally to death when cataclysm comes, and it will be hard for them to find supplies since all the supermarkets will be halted. However, Kay knew people would follow you when you have too many resources, and they are going to follow to avoid conflict. So he wants to prepare as soon as possible. Also, the crowded places like supermarkets will be filled with monsters right away, and if the infection spreads exponentially like rats, even one person couldn't handle. With limited options for gathering supplies, Kay begins considering alternative strategies. He then recalls his mother's phone and realizes it might help him find what he needs to survive. Curious about the phone's owner and its contents, he checks it out. Noticing it's unlocked, he easily accesses a chat group for the building's residents and starts reading through their conversations. Inside the group chat, people are discussing a strange virus that has turned humans into monsters. Frustrated and alarmed, Kay decides to create his own account and join the conversation, warning them about an impending disaster. He's upset that people are dying before any sort of organized resistance can take shape. Suddenly, he receives a friend request from an unknown user. Intrigued, he accepts and wonders who it could be. The new contact messages him, asking if he's searching for supplies and offering a deal. The name sounds familiar. It might be someone connected to the mysterious organization he's been thinking about. The idea excites and unsettles him. The girl on the other end, situated in a room full of computers, tells him things are about to get interesting. She chats casually while snacking, offering to provide him with essential supplies, food, water, even armor. She sends a photo to prove it and says all she asks in return is information, pricing it at 100 million yen. Since transportation is inconvenient for her, she's only asking for 20% of the information for now. Kay finds her tone strange, like that of a young child, yet he's convinced she might actually be the attractive guy he suspects is involved. He continues the conversation, questioning her trustworthiness. She cryptically asks if he's planning to become her enemy, suggesting he reconsider. When he asks where he can see the supplies, she tells him she left the details in the mailbox of their apartment building. Despite doubting her status within the organization, since it hasn't officially formed, he knows she's a manipulative figure who uses information to control others. He suspects she's baiting him and vows not to fall into her trap this time. As he prepares to retrieve the information, he notices security cameras in the elevator and decides to take the stairs. However, his physical condition prevents him from climbing, so he turns to his dog for help. Waking the sleepy pup, he tries to explain the situation. The dog, still groggy, knocks him over and goes back to sleep. Undeterred, Kay tempts him with dog food. It works. The dog starts following him. They make a deal. Kay will give treats, and the dog will assist. They head for the mailbox together. Worried his mother might wake up, Kay urges the dog to hurry. When they arrive, he notices another camera pointed at the mailbox. Realizing he might be under surveillance, he figures the girl is trying to confirm his identity. If she succeeds, she could sell his personal information. To outsmart her, Kay devises a plan to hide his identity. He scans the area for danger and discovers several hidden cameras she had installed in addition to the building's security system. Determined not to fall into her trap, he wonders who her next victim will be and smirks. Meanwhile, the girl receives a message indicating the information has been collected. She checks the surveillance footage and is stunned to see only a dog at the scene. Furious at being deceived, she wonders how and when it happened. Back on his end, Kay plans to keep using the dog as a decoy to avoid detection. As part of his next trick, he hides a phone inside a pamphlet to mislead his enemies. The dog stays alert, guarding the entrance and watching for anything suspicious, ready to assist in the next phase of their mission. Just as Kay thinks he's in the clear, someone suddenly appears and confronts him, demanding to know who he is and what he's doing. Meanwhile, the girl, watching from afar, receives a message offering critical information in exchange for 100 million yen. Furious, She vows that whoever dared to challenge her will regret it deeply. Determined to locate him, she deploys a surveillance spider drone worth 30 million yen, fully confident it will expose Kei's location. The mechanical spider creeps through the building silently, but before it can complete its task, someone hasn't noticed it and accidentally crushes her device. When the girl sees the footage of her expensive device being destroyed so easily, she's thrown into a rage. It turns out it was Kei's mother, who casually looking for her son. But then she saw Kei, asking of what he was doing. Kei knew he was messed up after getting caught. Meanwhile, the girl felt so bad after losing her the most expensive device. Suddenly, her attention caught after having feedback from her device. She immediately grabs headphones and threatens the person on the other line that she will expose her true identity. To test the connection, she demands that Kei say something. But she just heard random words, realizing she can't be heard on the other line, showing concern while still trying to uncover his identity. However, she's unable to determine who he is. Kei's mother warns him that staying there is dangerous and asks where he's headed. The surveillance system, now damaged, can only receive a small portion of data, just 4%. Kei, sensing that the girl may have given up, offers the information freely and even throws in supplies. Still confused by the whole situation, he wonders what the big deal was all about. From the building's balcony, his mother assumed Reckon opened the door, making Kei leaving the apartment. Kei realizes that she's half asleep and not fully aware of her surroundings. Knowing the dog won't be much help for a while, he resolves to find another way to assist it later. According to Hot, a warehouse-style supermarket will be opening soon. Kei is surprised by the idea, but sees it as a good opportunity. He knows time is running out, they're almost out of milk, and have only 5 days worth left. He leaves a flyer on the table, hoping that his mother would notice, but she doesn't. Thinking quickly, he knocks over a glass to draw her attention. It works. She spots the supermarket pamphlet and wonders when such a store opened. She decides they should go check it out, much to Kei's delight. Pushing a stroller, she gets ready to leave for the market, commenting on the pleasant weather. As they walk down the street, Kei realizes that his clothes don't exactly match those of a typical boy, but the woman doesn't seem to notice. Back at home, the loyal dog remains alert, guarding the house from any threats. Their peaceful stroll is suddenly interrupted when a man approaches them, asking why they're outside. He warns the woman about a fast-spreading infection and urges her to return home. She insists she can't wait. She needs powdered milk for the baby. Kei, aware of the bigger picture, advises her not to rely on the government, as it won't be around much longer. The man explains he's just following orders and again asks them to return home, promising it will be safe to go out later. Before anyone can react, something horrifying happens. The man's body is overtaken by a monstrous creature, huge, grotesque, and deadly. With razor-sharp limbs, the beast impales the man, feeding on his flesh in a gruesome scene. Kei and his mother are paralyzed by fear, horrified by the brutal transformation and terrified of what might happen next. The monster declares its need for protein and makes it clear it won't stop until it's satisfied. Kei realizes just how dangerous the situation has become. This creature is powerful, relentless, and seemingly invulnerable. Realizing that there's no other option, our hero knows he must unleash his powers or both he and his mother will be torn apart by the creature. There's no time to hesitate, he needs to act now. His mother picks him up in her arms, clutching him tightly as fear consumes her. She asks him to hold on, her voice trembling. He wonders if she's about to flee, but deep down he knows it would be futile. The creature is too fast, too relentless. The beast plows through everything in its path as it hunts them, giving no chance to escape. Desperate, Kei's eyes land on a fire extinguisher. An idea sparks. Maybe he can stall the monster just long enough to strike. Summoning his strength, he smashes the extinguisher, releasing a thick cloud of white smoke. The monster halts, confused, blinded by the sudden haze. It's the opportunity he was hoping for. Wasting no time, he focuses his energy, preparing for a decisive attack. With a powerful strike, he blasts the creature away, shattering nearby structures. The dust clouds the air. He estimates he has 30 seconds before it clears. He closes his eyes, focusing every ounce of his power. His eyes blaze red. This will be over in half a minute. But there's a complication. His mother is unconscious, thrown by the earlier impact, and she could wake up at any moment. He spots the creature's weak point, its core, located in its head. If he can hit that directly, it's over. But doubts creep in. Can he land the blow? To his shock, the creature survives the first assault unscathed. Enraged, he vows that his next strike will be the last. The monster bares its jagged teeth and lunges, ready to consume him. There's no more room for holding back. K readies his ultimate move, pouring every drop of energy into his hands. He lets out a shout and unleashes his energy with immense force. The blast strikes the monster, tearing into its body, but not fatally. It still lives. Still, he smirks, confident. "I'll be the one standing when this is over," he says, flying straight at the beast. The beast tried to attack K, but K easily avoided it. He maneuvered himself at the monster's back. As he landed, the monster tried to strike him once again. But K's senses was so good, making him avoiding all the attacks instinctively. He was thinking of another way to kill this monster. However, because of the damage he did earlier, the monster slowly decreasing its speed and slowly dying due to loss of blood. So K one more hit would be enough to kill this monster. Just as sudden, the monster had enough strength to grab a truck and throws it towards K. He caught off guard, making his forehead getting caught and scratched. K had no other choice than taking his distance away from the monster. While he was thinking of another way to kill it, he suddenly heard his mom calling him. It turns out that she already awake and looking for him. She was panicking by the situation after losing K on her hands. She sees the massive creature radiating malevolent energy. Her eyes go wide with terror. This is beyond her comprehension. K appears beside her and warns her that she's out of her depth. She suddenly pulled out a taser gun and shoot it to the monster. K was dumbfounded she used a taser gun against a monster. But he somehow can use this. Since she draw the monster's attention, he can now use his chance to finish it. Her taser wasn't enough to seize the monster, so she was attacked by the monster. Luckily, K had enough time to cast his power. The monster saw him coming, but it was too late as it already hit him by K's power. This instantly killed the monster, and his mother left unconscious again. K checked her. K was glad that she was fine, and he can't believe she actually risked her life just to save him. However, he's still a lot to train, therefore, he loses consciousness too. Afterwards, K wake up. Someone checking his pulse, and notices he woke up. K was startled, wondering who is this guy. So he decided to give him a piss. The man let it slide, thinking he just got scared. The man asked his mother if he'd get along with their dog, and she agreed, so K think this is the guy who gave the dog to her. Later on, she put K into his stroller. But K wondering why this guy act like nothing happened, as he supposed to see the monster that he killed. All of a sudden, a droplet fall to his head. At first he thought her hair was wet. K realized she might be hiding and crying again. The Mat advises them they are going to hoard supplies, so they must get ready to go out. Hearing this, K think it was a good strategy since cooperating with others to hoard supplies could help him a lot. He suddenly remembered the monster earlier since he hadn't collected the crystal core from it. Luckily, it's still there and no one noticed it yet. He wasted no time and let his tail of Tautai to extract it. Since the monster earlier has hardening trait, he can implement this into his blood vessel, so he can use it as a shield. K suddenly heard the man talking. The other line told him that K and his mother are a burden for them. However, he doesn't want to get rid of them since he has planned to use them in an emergency, which he reveal he's going them as bait. After hearing it, K knew this guy is dangerous. Furthermore, he asked the other line to get him a car and hoard even more supplies. But just a sudden, the crystal suddenly made a sound that startled the man. K knew he was messed up after making noise while spying him. Unfortunately, the man caught him. But he just pat his head, wonder how he get all the way here. The man took his phone and told the other line that a kid just overheard him, but even though he's a kid, killing him would be no problem for him. Hearing this, K realized he's a really insane guy. Afterwards, they got in the car. However, we can see to their face they are sarcastically wanted to give them free snacks, while K wonder why these people would go outside like they never seen the monster video. Before heading out, he signaled the guy behind him. Therefore, they leave the place. But in reality, they were disposing some people's body. One of the guy asked for a sandwich, so K's mother wasted no time to give him one. Also, Den Sora from room 103 asked if he could get a hot dog, so his mother gave him one. But before that, K had a plan for it. She handed the sandwich to Sora, while Sora showed his concern about taking care of K all by herself. Lu Kashien also acknowledged her beauty and seem young, but doesn't look like a job, and not only that, It's dangerous to go outside. She knew they were right. She revealed she hesitated to go out, but every time she leaves Kay alone, she keeps seeing him doing whatever he wants, forcing her to bring him with her all the time. Chun-Shi reveals she will be part of their combat first. It turns out that Chun-Shi assumes she was the one who killed the monster earlier. She said that she doesn't even remember it, but Kay wondered if she really had any combat power. While he was busy eating his sandwich, Chun-Shi startled of what he just saw. A woman suddenly ran towards the pedestrian lane. It turns out that she was being chased by a group of monsters. So everyone got alerted by the situation. Chun-Shi immediately told everyone to hold on tight. He maneuvered the car to avoid the colliding with them. Reckon sensed the danger and barks while the girl who's running earlier, crying for help. Kay found this day hectic. But the important thing right now, they were surrounded by the monsters. By looking at their appearance, he noticed the insect head and sting marks, so he recognized these are artificial human from an insect tamer. Insect tamers are a parasite-type monster. They turn humans into artificial humans. Their power isn't much, but it's a different story when there are many of them. But the number of this insect tamers had increasing, so they must run as soon as possible. Chun-Shi also noticed they were surrounded. Since they are too close, they might break the car's windshield to catch them. However, Kay thinks he can't make a move unless the insect tamer drive away. Not only that, he only had 30 seconds to act. But he noticed everyone hasn't doing anything, so he wondered if there's no anyone who could serve as their combat power. Once again, the woman earlier screamed for help. So Lu Keqian said we all have to save that girl. Kay got irritated at this woman after she mentioned we all. Kay think this girl mean everyone, but him to go save that woman. So he think this girl is an opportunistic people, and like this people are just burden in this kind of situation. Since this girl doesn't seem useful in a fight, Kay hopes she get lost already. The old man reminded her they were too late to help her out. He explained her neck had the same wound as the monsters. Kay noticed this old man's observation being so good, so he think he's too old to be combat ready, but useful for transporting supplies. Chun-Shi think it's their time go get in charge. He was planning on defeating the monsters first before they annihilate them all. This drives Kay mad because he knew their situation is bad and no one had a good combat power yet. He's planning to confront these monsters. That means Chun-Shi is not reliable at a critical moment. Also, the driver in the truck behind them is the same as him. Den Sora told that he's going, but for Kay, this guy looks like a nobody, but is the kind that loses control. But in reality, he's unreliable and always basing his decision irrationally. So Kay low-key panicking as there's no good method they could do. When Kay's mother wants to brought her weapon, Den Sora asks if is it okay if he could not go. But as soon as they opened the door, he didn't realize he was stabbed by the monster. He suddenly pulled out of the van. A sharp hand suddenly appeared. This scares Lu Keqian. Mutated monster had appeared. Lu Keqian also got stabbed by this monster. Kay realized this was the main body of the infected ones. Seeing this, Kay was glad she finally showed up. Unfortunately, the host goes to strike his mom, and it was too late, and he was hesitating to do it here. Luckily, Kay pushed her in time, making the host miss her shot. But once again, she tried to aim at him. The old man acted swiftly, stabbing the host while it was off guard. The host tried to strike him back, but the old man just grabs its stinger. Then he breaks the stinger. Kay were surprised that this old man just breaks the tail of this monster bare-handedly. He wasn't done yet as he also stabbed the stinger and choke its head. After that, he throws her dead body outside. The old man told he was gotten old as he felt he got bit rusty of fighting. Kay were amazed by his incredible combat force. However, Kay was still high alerted as he knew their fight hasn't done yet. While he was wondering who this man was, he knew stabbing the insect tamer's heart won't enough to kill it. Kay was right as it's slowly standing up. Since he wasn't able to talk to communicate, he had no other choice. He decided to cry while pointing to caught the old man's attention. When he looked behind him, he saw the host recovered from what he just did earlier and now aiming at his neck. Luckily, he was too fast and he was able to dodge its stinger. The old man reveals he was been in the Special War Department before, so he had been seen these kinds of monsters before where they don't die just by stabbing the heart. When Kay heard about it, he got scared for real. He pulled out something on his pocket and lunges with full force towards the monster's face. He decided to tear it to pieces since this was the case. As Kay saw his quick judgment and his combat knowledge, He was a bit disappointed that he took so long to realize that this man is from the army he knew from his past life. In his past life, when he was a dog of the organization, the army had already vanished, but he heard some rumors that after the government lost its functionality, the army became the biggest force opposing Monster, and they were also enemies of the organization. Among them, the Special War Department was the core of the army, and apparently, they had special combat methods. So Kay were confident with this. They could go to supermarket. When Kay's mother asked if they should go back, the old man advised to move forward because something might happen even if they go back. So Kay was thinking if he should make a fake order from the army or get privileged information from Hot and threaten him, or just stick to him and force him to protect. All of a sudden, the old man pats his head. He advised Hayashi to stay behind Kay because this is the only way he can do to help them at least. Kay's mother agreed and swore she won't a burden for him. While Hayashi thanking the old man wants to thank Kay because if he didn't cry, he would have dead for sure. Inside Kay's mind, the dumber a person is, the more they just want benefits. But Kay knew this kind of personality will be his downfall, but he decided to accept it for now as a gratitude. Upon arrival, they were disappointed after seeing the supermarket closed. They are confused because the flyers said it was open already. However, Kay knew someone named Kay is a very skilled hacker, and she probably made it stop operating automatically. All of a sudden, the supermarket store opened. Chunshur revealed that he asked a friend to open it for them. But Kay don't believe about it. He was thinking if Chunshur is connected to Hot. Actually, Kay was right about his assumption. Although Kay was tired, he's still glad this is a good fate for him. While they keep on going, he noticed there's no any cameras around, so he think he don't have to worry about his identity being exposed. Kay suddenly noticed the old man doing something strange. He realized this man brought his weapon with him, as he expected of a former Special War Department member. However, he can't see Chunshur, so he wonder where he goes. Also his mom noticed there's no staff, so she don't know where to pay. Chunsi called their attention as he told everyone that he already bought their needs. Out of nowhere, Reckon barks on him continuously. Therefore, he reveals he no longer needed them because he thought he would hard for him to break in so he could use them all. When Kay saw the mark on his arm, he realized he was part of the organization. Chunshur declared from now on, all of these supplies are the private property of the East Lotus Society. He threatened everyone. He advised the old man on not to think about moving while he was getting ready his gun. Kay remember the East Lotus Society, they are the forerunners of the organization, the enforcers of the hunting project. They were already committing crimes before the calamity, gathering supplies early once they sensed the disaster coming. He finally understand why he had a bad feeling from the start, because the smug tone actual sounds like him. So Kay swore he will kill him no matter what. The old man noticed they have been surrounded. He didn't expect they were being tricked. The old man pulled out the small shovel and decided to take out their boss before he expand the group. When he throws the shovel, it hit the fuse box. Because of that, the electricity starts to leak, making a cluster of explosion inside the market. But when he look at Chunshur, he wonder why he still looks so calm. Chunshur smirked, so the old man knew this is bad. Chunshur used a controller. Then a forklift truck suddenly appeared, forwarding to his position. This startled the old man. Because of that, he don't have enough time to react. The old man falls to the ground. Chunshur take this opportunity and aims his gun at the old man's head. He told that he can't let an army veteran like him to get away, so he must be dead. All of a sudden, Hayashi demanded him to stop or else she would shoot. She's confused of what he was doing right now, so she asked. But Chunshur mocked her if she was really serious asking that. Hayashi declared she's serious and she will surely shoot him. She demanded to share the supplies together as a deal. Chunshur just laughs at her since this makes her funny. She told that she was too stupid to talk and reminded her not to act like she was in charge. He revealed the reason why he left the dog with her, because that day, when he went to collect money, the owner was already dead. As he was about to get rid of the dog, he met her. By looking at Reckon, he knew he might be his opponent. Then she suddenly appeared. After seeing the milk at her hand, he knew she had a baby. So this makes him decided to leave it with her. That means he wants her to suffer at their current situation by taking care of the full-grown dog and a baby at home. This made Kay drive so mad after hearing it. Chunshur reminded her that the supplies is not enough to share. This moment stirs a memory in Kay, one from when he was still under the organization's control. Back then, he had no choice but to eat rats just to survive. He was treated with the same disdain he's seeing now. His train of thought is cut short when his dog gets ready to pounce on the thugs. Kay swiftly hurls slime toward the generator, plunging the area into darkness. Suddenly, everything is swallowed by black, and the boss yells at everyone to cease fire until they can restore visibility. At that instant, the boss raises his weapon. Sensing the opportunity, Kay activates his power and prepares to strike, but before he can, the old man unexpectedly steps in, kicking the boss down. Both men stare at each other in shock. Kay realizes it's unlucky to have been caught by someone from the military. He knows there's a real risk they'll brand him a monster and dissect him for research. Unsurprisingly, the old man shares a similar concern, unsure whether Kay is human or something else. Just as the old man gears up to strike, baby Kay leaps to an upper rack, placing himself in the blind spot. The old man switches on his flashlight. Kay also considers activating the light, but hesitates due to the man's presence. He scoffs, knowing he must take the old man down first. But before he can act, a sudden noise distracts everyone. Their attention shifts upward to find a slime drawing focus. Kay, grinning smugly, sits back in his trolley, ready to enjoy the spectacle. To his surprise, the slime morphs into a copy of the old man and immediately attacks. Chaos erupts as the group is forced to fight clones of themselves. Even the old man faces off against his duplicate, cursing the situation. Lin panics upon seeing her perfect replica and begs it to stay away. Her cries catch the old man's ear. He glances back to see Kay weeping nearby, as a clone attempts to crawl into the trolley. Assuming the child has seen this creature before, the old man acts, just as Kay planned. Using his tears as bait, Kay watches the man strike the clone. But to his dismay, the clone instantly regenerates thanks to its slime form. Knowing brute force is futile, the old man discards his shovel and grabs a weapon from his armory. Meanwhile, Lin zaps her clone with an electric gun, electricity being a known weakness of slimes. Kay defeats his own double, using a brutal barrage of strikes. In the end, the old man takes down his clone with sheer firepower. However, the fight isn't over yet. Another clone lunges at Lin, but the old man shoots it mid-air. Though it attempts to reform, he continues firing, damaging it enough to keep it down. Just then, the boss rises, ready to attack while the old man is distracted. Kay mutters a curse, frustrated. He can't openly use his powers without blowing his cover. Out of nowhere, the boss grabs Kay and takes him hostage, demanding the others drop their weapons. But this turns out to be a mistake, the perfect setup for Kay. He silently activates his slime ability and takes control of one of the boss's henchmen, who then unpins a grenade. Moments later, a massive explosion rips through the area. The boss survives but keeps Kay in hand. Amid the chaos, Kay discreetly uses his tail to snatch a high-grade crystal core. The wounded boss retreats to another room, locking the door. Inside, several goons await. He commands them to ready the car. They're escaping. Just then, Kay spots a tattoo on the man's neck. Everything clicks. This man is none other than Lai, the true mastermind of the organization, the one who ruined Kay's former life. Back then, Lai always wore a mask, so Kay never saw his face. Who would have guessed he'd meet him again, this time as a baby? Kay's glare is so intense that Lai feels it and scolds him irritably. Suddenly, red mist fills the room. It's crimson dust, a deadly anomaly in this catalyst-plagued world. It causes death or mutation upon contact. As expected, some of Lai's men start mutating into grotesque beasts. With no remorse, Lai tosses Kay into the room full of monsters and runs. Kay, unfazed, knows what's coming and readies himself. He pulls out the crystal core and activates it. In an instant, his body matures into a full-grown fighter. A monster charges, but Kay's tentacles block the strike with ease. Now fused with the core, his strength is unparalleled. The beasts barely feel real to him. One fires a laser from its eye. Kay charges right through it, impaling the beast. He marvels at how effortlessly he now moves, his tentacles carving through foes like a chef slicing vegetables. Meanwhile, Lai watches in horror, clueless about Kay's identity. That blank expression on Lai's face tells Kay everything. He doesn't recognize him. And that's just perfect. Kay walks forward, eyes filled with vengeance. There's no turning back. As Lai fires his weapon, Kay moves faster than the bullet. Though this body isn't his original, it's far superior to his infant form. Lai assumes he's just another monster, but K gives him no time to speak. He hurls him across the room, slamming him hard into a wall. Coughing blood, Lai mutters about an old tale he once heard. K wonders who told it, but has no time to linger. Lai suddenly injects himself with a strange serum. His body begins to warp hideously. K realizes with dread. The organization had this drug before the Great Catalyst. It transforms people into monsters, without taking their minds. As Lai mutates, K prepares. The monster strikes fast. K barely blocks with his tentacles. One clash is enough to confirm this enemy is no pushover. Its silver tentacles lash at him, and K narrowly evades. The way it moves, this beast was designed to capture him. A cold realization sets in. This is the very monster that killed him in his past life. But this time, he's not helpless. Dodging attacks with precision, he refuses to be defeated again. Just then, an explosion hits the monster. The dust clears to reveal the old man reloading stolen bullets from the East Lotus Society. The irony hits hard. The enemy's weapons are now used for justice. K watches as the old man targets the creature's massive eye. Lai, now in his monstrous state, remembers how he first joined the organization.